going to talk today about everyone's favorite topic, strategic due diligence. And I say that a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but I think that one of the reasons advisors tend to dislike the due diligence process so much is because there's some sort of uncertainties around it. So I thought I would take a couple minutes to clarify the process and maybe answer a few questions we get most commonly and also provide a couple insider tips and tricks. So first of all, what is the strategic due diligence process? Well, first, it really starts before you as an advisor even engage with a particular firm or firms. That's sort of what we would call armchair exploration, where you're speaking either with a recruiter or maybe just doing your own research on what are the models and what are the types of firms and options out there. But what we're really talking about here is once you've made the decision to engage with a firm or firms, what does the process look like? So typically, here's the cadence. It's an introductory meeting, which in the modern world is often held via Zoom. And then some combination of technology demo, business portability exercise, book mapping exercise, investment platform overview, potentially a call with a legal team or legal support, an offer review and offer negotiation, which might include some sort of pro forma, and then potentially a home office visit as well. You actually see the four walls of the firm you're seriously considering. So that's sort of what the basic cadence is. There are certainly more steps than that, but that lays out, I think, a good kind of skeleton process. So what are some good tips and tricks for an advisor conducting due diligence? The first thing that we always remind our advisor clients is that due diligence is a two-way street. I think there's this perception that you are doing diligence on the firm, and that's absolutely true. But you need to be mindful that the firm is also in some ways doing diligence on you. They're going to write advisors very meaningful checks for making a move in a lot of cases. And so there is this sort of two-way street component where an advisor also needs to put their best foot forward. So I often like to remind our advisor clients of that. Secondly, is just to remember that this is a personal relationship game. So while we're often talking high level about numbers and platforms, at the end of the day, recruiting is still largely very personal. So things like common courtesy and not being disrespectful or dishonest, and just being very direct and open and candid goes a long way in working with a firm. The next thing I'd say is that deal certainly matters, but in our experience, the most successful advisor transitions are not based exclusively on deal. Deal can certainly be a component, and it's an important component, but if the only reason for making a move is economic deal, oftentimes we find that leads to a less successful transition. And then the last thing is just to remember the key stakeholders. So oftentimes advisors get caught up in what's best for me as the advisor. And of course, it's a little bit of a selfish decision, and it should be. But remember also, you have a team, and most importantly, you have clients, and that's ultimately who you need to sell any potential move to. So view everything through the lens of how does this impact or hopefully better the situation for my clients. So that's a little bit on the due diligence process, and I hope this was helpful.